Watch the ride.
What the hell is that? I'm actually supposed to be going to the post office. I've got a clock on the back here, but I want to find out what this bike is. Go on, let's go somewhere I can nose past. I don't want to have to follow you. I'm following you, man. I want to look at this shit. What's that, like a 280, 320? I'm not going to go full stalker style and follow him again, so I'm just going to go on and deliver this clock. You know, it has been waiting a while. This clock I have with me, well, let me start the story at the beginning. A few days ago, I got a letter from Parcel Force saying, hey, someone's tried to send you a Parcel Force item to your PO box, and obviously we don't do that, so can you please let us know what your address is and we'll get it to you. And I was like, oh, okay, fair enough. I talked about that in a recent video, I mentioned it. Anyway, eventually, I give them my address, and I'm told that it'll be here the next day, and it didn't turn up, so I called them and said, what's going on? And they went, oh, well, we've had messages going backwards and forwards because we don't understand the address you gave. And basically, they confused a single number with a double number, and they got my postcode wrong. They really messed it up. Well, anyway, she apologised and said, we'll have it out for you tomorrow. And she did. Fair enough, it arrived and I was like, nice, and I looked at the box and I was like, this looks really familiar, this looks like one of my boxes. And I was like, wait a minute, this is one of my boxes. It was a clock that I sent out in July. What is this doing back here? So I very quickly messaged the person that it belonged to because I felt really bad. I was like, oh my god, how haven't they emailed me? They must have been there patiently waiting for so long. Sorry, covering addresses. As you can see, it's got all the labels left over from the last time I sent it. Turns out what happened is Parcel Force had tried to deliver it when he wasn't in and didn't leave a card. And then they tried to deliver it again the next day, but he wasn't in and they didn't leave a card. And then they kept hold of it for a month and then tried to send it back to the... So they tried to send it back via the PO box, and that's where the problem came, because my PO box on the back of it is the return address. And the best bit is this customer of mine has even got a metal bin outside of his place for parcels, a lockable thing. But they didn't use it and they didn't give him a card. Well, hopefully the second time it will work. There's sort of a note to say to people that if you buy a clock from me, it'll either be sent through Raw Mail or Parcel Force. When you get an email from me, the confirmation to say it's been sent, I will have entered a tracking number, or at least an item number, so you can speak to Royal Mail and find out where your item is if it's missing. If it doesn't turn up within, you know, a week and a half, well, it should be a few days, but if we said if you didn't get it within the first week and a half, 10 days, then send me an email and I will help do some chasing for you if it hasn't arrived. But equally, as I say, if you just check the tracking number that comes with the email, you'll never have a problem with finding it. So now I've got to put a claim in with Parcel Force to get back the money I've just had to spend again to send it. This whole thing with Parcel Force and Royal Mail, it may only be of interest to people who run a business and use it on a daily basis, but it's so stupid. So Royal Mail and Parcel Force are two separate companies, but they work together. You know, you can send Parcel Force stuff through your local Royal Mail post office. So they work side by side. Their pricing structures are even kind of side by side, because the largest parcel you can send via Royal Mail is 2 kilos. And you wouldn't send something under 2 kilos with Parcel Force because it's way more expensive. So it kind of works, you know, it's like Royal Mail's like, well, we'll do the small stuff, and anything bigger than that, you do. But when it comes to PO boxes, Parcel Force just go, oh no, we can't deliver to a PO box. You know, we don't know where the address is. Speak to your business partners. You know, if they work together and actually deliver to PO boxes, I mean, I do realise the problem they say that it is the fact that it can't be signed for. so Parcel Force can't do its proper tracking and stuff, which is fair enough. But if you're sending to a PO box, you know that when you're booking the parcel in, so they can have a special circumstance to that, which is, you know, this is a PO box, you don't get quite the same cover. Do it at your own risk sort of thing. They would both end up making more money, probably. You know, but whenever you shine a common sense light on stuff, it seems so simple, but sometimes in the background there's reasons why these things can't happen. I don't know. What I do know is our local post office doesn't actually make us sign for anything when it's signed for. They just keep shoving it through the door or leaving it by the door. And it's like, if someone's paid for sign for, get them to sign for it. So this is just a little heads up to say, if you buy a clock from me, you should get a tracking number with it, and if it's been more than a couple of weeks before you receive it, unless you're overseas obviously, please check those tracking numbers, get in contact with me, anything. I do not want anyone to feel like I didn't give them 100% perfect customer service, because that's one of the things I pride myself on, is if I have a problem, I just solve it. I give them a solution. There's been like 3 core things about the metalworks. Do it with passion, do it to the highest quality I can do it, and make sure that every customer is happy. And this seems to be paying off, because I have a 100% 5-star rating on my Etsy. I believe it's 100% 5 stars. Not everyone's left a review, because, you know, I haven't actually asked anyone to do that. If you bought a keychain from me or anything like that, you can actually go and leave a review on my metalworks. It's good for my metalworks. It's good for the page, as it were. Well, now the PSA part's over, I'll give you a micro update of what's going on my back. Basically, well, as you know, I'm having problems. They now think it's a herniated disc. I was waiting until the end of the month to get an appointment. Things took a turn for the worse in the past few days. Once I'm standing, it's not too bad, but it is painful most of the time. If I'm on the bike, it's okay for a while, but lifting my legs up and down from the pegs is pretty bad. But when I transition from sitting to standing, or standing to sitting, I am in ridiculous amounts of pain with my hip. Like, if the pain before was a 3, it's now like an 8. And I'd say that 8 puts it more painful than anything that happened in my crash. And I'm being deadly serious about that. It is so bad when it twinges and it goes through my hip and obviously waiting to the end of the month for this to go and then get sent off for imaging is getting a little bit like, you know, I've been in pain now for 3 months and it's only getting worse, and it's really suddenly got worse in the past couple of weeks. Maybe that's because I'm still trying to work with it, but I don't have a choice. But things have come to a bit of a head with it, because it's like, this is ridiculous, this has got so much worse. So I called up the place that I'm waiting to see, that the appointment's at the end of the month, and said, look, things are progressing, it's getting really bad now, pain is moving, so something is going on in my back. Can we not move this appointment forward, considering it's or go and just send me for the imaging, because we know that, you know, I'm just going to have to get sent for imaging. That's what the GP wanted from the start, but he only sent me to a physio because they're the ones who have to refer me for the MRI. In the most don't care, eat shit tone voice I've ever heard, he basically said to me, well, that's all we can do. We can't make appointments that don't exist. And I'm like, right, but what about when it comes to things becoming slightly more like emergencies because of how bad it is? And I know the thing is, a lot of people are like, you can't be that bad, you're riding your bike around. I'm in pain, but I'm in the right place. I'm comfortable-ish. When I get off this bike and I go and sit in my office chair for a bit, I'll then be screaming whenever I try and get up and stuff like that. I'm not trying to moan about it, I'm just updating the story because it's getting a little bit ridiculous now. So the guy was just basically like, no, deal with it. Like, okay, great. I didn't know what to do at this point, because I thought, shall I see the GP again? Should I speak to someone else? And then I thought, you know what, sorry, I'll speak to NHS Direct. But they don't exist anymore, which is now covered by 111, which is fine. So I had a chat with them and they went through it all and went, right, yeah, I'm really sorry, it does seem like you've been caught in the system. It doesn't seem like you should be in that waiting list. And the advice that they gave me was I should see my primary care, which is like the GP, within 2 hours. I wasn't feeling like getting on the bike at that point, so I just got them to give me a call, because, you know, they're sending me for a scan. They can't, the doctor doesn't physically need to see me. Well, anyway, the doctor called me, we had a long chat about it, and she's like, this is terrible. And this is the doctor telling me, she says, this is terrible, the system is completely jammed up with people. You really should not be in this waiting queue, you should be getting seen with priority. All I can do for you though is offer you some more pain medicines. So in a minute I'm going to have to pick up a prescription of cocodamol again, the big fat hockey puck things that I was on for 2 years after my crash before. I didn't want to take, and I don't want to take, but I'm just going to use them when I need a bit of respite from it. I'm getting some great advice from old Colin, if you remember Colin, who has like catastrophic back problems that pretty much make my back look like I'm a whinging little bitch. But it's great to get advice from people who really know about this stuff. Anyway, yeah, and the GP basically, she's now chasing them up saying, look, just send him for imaging or give him an earlier appointment or do something. This guy cannot wait much longer. He can't work so much because he's self-employed, and it's progressively getting worse. And it's had a sudden change in the past 2 weeks. So hopefully I might hear something, or maybe I won't, and I'll just be drugged up to my eyeballs for the next month. Well, let's be fair, it's going to be a lot longer than that because I'm only going there to get an appointment to go and have an MRI scan to have a wait to go. Sorry, I don't mean to moan about it, but that's the situation I'm in. It's a bit fucked. And I'm getting lots of people, you know, giving me really nice advice saying, I hope it's sorted out soon. Well, it won't be. And, you know, take it easy. I'm trying. I'm doing my best to take it easy. I'm being smart about the way that I do things, but I still have to make things in the metalworks. This afternoon I'm going to sit there and I'm going to cut out a couple of templates for some discs that I've already done some previous work on, and hopefully I'll be able to slowly, bit by bit, get some more clocks together. It's a lovely day to pop out though. It's very autumnal, it's very cool. It's nice and sunny. Yeah, I'm going to try not to talk about my back. I'm going to try not to mention it because I know before now people are like, oh, we don't care about that stuff, we just want to watch the bike videos. And it's like, well, I'm afraid I can't change what's happened to my back, and there won't be as many bike videos, and certainly not me really gunning it around or anything, or going green laning or anything like that. I just can't. It's so weird to say, yeah, I've got a bad back, but my actual back doesn't really hurt, it's my leg. But it's because of the way that it's, you know, pressing on the nerve, all the symptoms appear in the leg. As I say, sorry if this isn't the sort of content you're after, but I'm in the situation that I'm in, and my vlogging has always been about my life, not just about me riding bikes trying to look good or something. It's a life vlog, really, rather than a moto vlog. You started out on a bike, but I always just talked about my life and stuff, as well as other situations that, you know, were interesting to me. Now I realise, as I say, quite a lot of people aren't into that, and it does open me up for having a lot of shit. Look. A lot of shit thrown at me. I mean, recently, you know, I talked about not knowing whether I should continue doing the metalworks or not. I had a load of shit on that. I've had people sort of saying things like, you know, well, how are you going to explain not being in a job for the past 2 years? What? I left my chefing job about two and a bit years ago. I spent the first year running the social media for, you know, Loomies until that all happened. And then I started up my own business, and I've been a metal artist and a YouTuber doing that at the same time. When I say open up my own business, when I say open a business, the business has always existed. It's all under one name, like that is my production company, as it were. But now that production company not only produces digital media, it also produces metalworks. But it doesn't really, it's a name, it doesn't really mean anything. But as I sort of look at the isolated accounts for that, it is its own little business. And I'm sorry, self-employment is not unemployment. Otherwise you're calling nearly every single labourer in this country unemployed, because most of them are working subcontract. That's why labourers get such a high day rate. Not only is it hard work and it is skilled, but also because they don't get any of the benefits of being an employee. You don't get sick pay, and you don't get pay when there's no work, and you don't get this and you don't get that. You work, you earn, and when you don't work, you don't earn. It's as simple as that. It's just sometimes when I read some of this stuff, I'm like, oh, you have no idea what are you talking about? And then I'm like, why am I even listening to these people being negative? Oh, I can confirm I have just bought a load of inert ammunition to start making the resin pieces. There we go. Sorry for a slightly moany little update and some information and stuff, but I've just got to say what's going on. People ask me. If I don't say, people ask, and if I do say, people moan at me for saying. So I'm kind of stuck either way, so I just make whatever the hell I want, and if people don't like it, well then what can I do about it? Anyway, thanks for watching, thanks for the support, catch you next time. If you enjoyed this video and the other content on the channel, please consider following the links in the description to show your support.